What's it like living in Texas? I'm gonna share with you my experience as well as some of the experiences of people that have moved to Texas from out of state. So first off, let me talk about my personal experience. My family moved here when I was 4 years old, so I grew up here in Texas, and I've also raised my family here in Texas. So I would first like to touch on raising my kids here in Texas. I say that my parents making the decision to move here, they decided to move to Texas because they were both in an environment, unhealthy family environments in Minnesota. So when they decided to move to Texas, they wanted to get away from toxic relationships, and they said, where do we want to go? Someplace warmer. So they chose Texas. I do remember that drive down here a little bit, even though I was only 4, but I'm so grateful they moved here because I do feel like the community here in raising my family here has just changed generations. If we had stayed in Minnesota, our family tree would look a whole lot different. I loved raising my kids here in Texas because we got connected with a local church, we'd make friends. I stayed at home with my kids when they were little, and so we got to just, it was a community. I do like to say it takes a village to raise a kid. I'd love to say that I have great kids because of my great parenting, but the truth is it took a community of people instilling and reinforcing the values that we were hoping to instill in our kids. So the church community, I like that our kids could find friends, that they didn't feel like they were outsiders for their beliefs and for their values that hopefully we instilled in them. And just to let you know, our kids are now college age. We have one graduating college this year. We have one that's a sophomore in college, as well as one that's a senior in high school. And so I'm just happy that we raised them here in Texas because we found the communities that could support our values. So that's why I love Texas personally. And I'm not saying that there aren't other cultures or values that are here in Texas, but it's not hard to find communities that have like values. So that's the thing about Texas, is you're not ostracized for the way you think or the values that you want to raise your kids with. So that's what I love, which can lead me into schools. So we do have so many school options here in Texas. The public schools, if you find a great school district, we rank very high in education. Now we put our kids in public school, we've put them in private school, as well as we have homeschooled. We've got to taste all of them. And let me just say, the teachers here that we put our kids in, when we put them in public and private, they were wonderful teachers with I loved their values. We ended up choosing to homeschool for different reasons, and we found plenty of homeschool groups to join. So schools here in Texas are great. Just know that there's so many options, and there are great options here in Texas. The next thing I love about living in Texas is the friendly environment. It is a-okay if you want to talk to people at the grocery store. It's okay to talk with people at the park or wherever you go. It is a friendly environment. We'll still hear people say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. They'll use ma'am and sir, and I'm okay with that. I loved it that my friends, when we were raising our kids together and we talked to the kids, they always reinforced, say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, whatever. So I love that. It's just a respect that we appreciate here. I value that. Outdoor lifestyle. What's it like living in Texas? Well, okay, it does get quite hot here, but I like swimming. But if we do have days on end of 100+ degree weather, I don't like that, I'll be honest. But I do love the mild winters. And so this year we've had a mild winter and I've loved it. We've had many beautiful days in January and February. Most of the time, January is pretty cold. This has been a mild winter, so it's great. Hopefully it won't be a crazy hot summer though. But normal weather is wonderful here in Texas, which makes it a great place for you to do outdoor activities. Maybe you like lake living, maybe you like to do paddle boarding, kayaking, bike riding. There's so many different activities that you can do here. So, and then if you want to drive to a different part of the state, you can do that as well. You can also drive up to Oklahoma. We like to do that, to rent a cabin up there. That's pretty nice up there. And so there are some outdoor activities you can do. The economic opportunities. I like this about Texas. It is still booming and growing. And so you know that when you buy a home in Texas, no matter where the market is at, When you buy a home in Texas, we're pretty good investment-wise for quite a long time because we have such massive growth happening right now. But the economic opportunities are great, whether you own a business, whether you are looking for a great job. There are so many opportunities here in Texas with businesses, companies moving here, as well as if you wanted to do a startup. It's a great place for startups and just jobs in general. And then the number one reason that I hear so many families who have moved to Texas, why they like living in Texas, is they do feel like their quality of life is raised. So we're talking quality of life for financial, schooling, environment, so many different factors. Even commute time is shorter here in Texas. So there are just many reasons. I mean, that's just the word that I keep hearing over and over and over from clients who have moved here, is they love the quality of life here in Texas. So if you think that Texas might be right for you and you're looking to buy a home, fill out my dream home questionnaire in the link below. Feel free to call, text, or email, and we would be so happy to help you make that move.